Now, some of you may be familiar with the user that's appeared in the comment section of a couple of my most recent videos. His name is ArtieKnightYT. If you look at his channel, he plays GTA Online and a variety of other games. I don't recall where on YouTube I met him, but he seemed pretty cool. We were both a part of the furry fandom, we both play GTA Online, we're both YouTubers, well, obviously. Basically, we had a lot in common, and he seemed pretty cool. He asked for my Discord one day, so you know what, I gave it to him. We exchanged messages for a little while, and he even invited me to a server. But after that, that's where it all went down. Now, the majority of this video is going to consist of screenshots of what happened with him, and I have over 95 of them, so I won't cover each and every one individually because that'd take up a lot of time. I also don't want to waste much time on this video, so feel free to pause and read the conversation as the music rolls over the parts I don't read. I'm only covering the parts that are worth mentioning. So anyhow, I woke up to him messaging me in the middle of the night. He asked me why I set my status to offline on Discord, stating that he's not a mind reader. So I sarcastically responded, I'm hiding from the FIB. Now, if any of you have ever asked me why I appear offline on Discord, hiding from the FIB is always my response. But the real reason is that I don't have a whole bunch of time to respond to Discord messages, and that's nothing personal at all. I work a full-time job along with it being night shift, so my hours are kind of wacky. So Artie didn't take my response too kindly, so he got a bit more antsy with me. He stated that he wanted me to change my status because he didn't want to contact me at the wrong time. So I told him not to worry about it, that he can contact me whenever. Somehow that didn't do any good, so he proceeded to be even more antsy about it. At this point I began to lose patience with him. I told him that I can set my status to whatever I want. He continued to fight with me about it for the next couple of minutes on Discord. He even went far enough to say, I'll be here all night until your status gets changed. At this point, I wanted to know why this guy was being such a you-know-what to me. A normal person would act cool if they met somebody that they had a lot in common with. I mean, I have high-functioning autism, and that makes perfect sense to me. I mean, come on. So, after some more unnecessary arguing, I asked him if he normally acts this way towards people he meets. He says no and continues to berate me for avoiding his question, stating, I hate it when people do that. Well, I told him that I hate it when people call me an a-hole and ignorant. I guess he suddenly felt bad all of a sudden, so he took what he said back. He even went far enough to apologize for insulting me earlier, despite it happening merely seconds ago. Now, I don't like getting my personal life and my YouTube life involved, but he was showing major signs of a friend I used to have a year ago. Now, I'm not going to go into detail, but this friend will get mad at me over the smallest things and suddenly start apologizing 5 minutes prior to the incident. He also had very manipulative personality. I'm not sure what this friend had, but it seemed to me like, Artie has the same kind of mental disorder. At this point, Artie angered me to the point where I had to let him know how he made me feel. Immediately, he swapped to his victim persona, telling me how I was giving him anxiety. I continued to text him, but he wouldn't comply, so I did what any other sensible person would do, so I blocked him. He sent me a friend request on his alt account, so I accepted it. He began to freak out really badly over me blocking him. He told me he was going to hang himself with a rope. Now, I don't take fake suicidal people very seriously. I didn't really appreciate him going this far to make me feel bad, so I jokingly told him to use a gun instead. Granted, suicide is a terrible thing people have to go through with loved ones, but I draw the line at stuff like that. He continues to accuse me of harassing and insulting him when he was the one doing all that in the first place. On top of that, he turns the whole thing around on me and blames me for the argument. Now, this is a tactic he uses throughout the rest of the video. Now, for the next few screenshots, I'm going to let them roll by without commentary. They pretty much only consist of Artie throwing a hissy fit. A day passes and I upload a new video to my channel. He comments very nice things to me on the video. He even makes me mod of his Discord server. I got the impression that he felt bad about the whole argument, but his generosity didn't make me turn a blind eye. Since he made me a moderator on his server, I decided to pull a Discord mod joke. So if any of you are familiar with the whole, Discord mod meme and all that, that's pretty much what I did to him. I commented what I had down below. I'll let you read it. But anyhow, he didn't really find the joke very funny, and you know what? That brings us to argument number 2. So he messaged me personally and was mad at me about being too direct on his server. So at this point, I was under the impression that he didn't understand my joke, so I told him that it was supposed to be a satirical joke. Yes, satirical joke. Now right here, he's saying satire is an excuse used by people to get away with saying messed up things. Saying things directly without referencing it being a joke or not saying it's one isn't satire. I'm sorry, pal. You didn't just define satire, but you told us that you can't take, let alone understand, a joke. He continues to accuse me of not understanding the argument and wanting to fight him when he's the one exhibiting this behavior. At this point, I was ready to fight fire with fire. I sent him a long paragraph about the argument, or, what the argument was all about, because apparently he's under the impression that I don't understand. Now check this out. He was getting me to say that I understand him when his claim makes no sense to begin with. Clearly, Artie doesn't understand how arguments work. I ever so kindly let him know that he can't just force somebody to agree with him. So the whole thing continues, and he goes far enough to say that he's going to go back to self-harm. Very manipulative behavior we're seeing here, folks. Now, at this point, I'm completely done with him. I warned him before that I was going to stop responding, but he didn't listen. So, you know what? I stopped responding. The following happens. He even goes far enough to call me out on his own Discord server. Yeah, that's right, he called me out. He tells his fans to ping Ballista to get my attention. Oh, and remember how earlier I mentioned that I had a friend that acted like Artie? Yeah, I warned him about this friend. He continues to accuse me of wanting to win an argument when he's the one wanting to in the first place. I didn't screenshot this part, unfortunately, but he demoted me from mod on his server and put me in a warned category. So I brought this to his attention. He said he'd give me mod back, but he doesn't have the social skills to recognize that he's ticked me off so badly, I don't even want to be in his server. Oh, how about this? I tell him that he whined and cried about me in his whole server, which I have screenshots to back up my claim. Want to know what he did about me? Accused me of harassment, when what he was doing was harassment in the first place. I was done with him right here. I told him I was going to stop responding and head off to bed. I also stated that if he kept bothering me, I was going to actually block him. I want to make note of what he says right here. Stop blackmailing and threatening me, please. Okay, first of all, I never blackmailed him in the first place. I have no reason to, and he has no proof that I did. Secondly, he began telling my subscribers false things about me, which is the very definition of blackmailing, mind you. Now, after getting blown up by his messages, I come back and give him my absolute final warning. I wasn't nice enough to him, but this is where I drop the hammer. The following screenshots I'm going to display are of his pathetic attempts at getting back at me. He literally created about 10 accounts trying to get back in contact with me. He even tracked my Instagram and blew my DMs up. Like, really? This is absolutely ridiculous. I've spent 10 or so years of my life on the internet, and this guy's got to be the craziest person I have ever met. I mean, look at what he's been naming his alt accounts. Really? I'm sorry, please add me back? You gotta be kidding. Look, he was so petty about it, he logged on to all 7 of his alt accounts to dislike my most recent video. I have proof of it right here. Well, glad thing I'd stayed on the page of my video and didn't refresh it. Now, one of my good pals, La Madrina, got involved with all this when they saw Artie attacking me on my latest video. They jumped in and told them to leave me alone. That only angered Artie more. Artie messaged them personally via Instagram. Now, unfortunately, I don't have any screenshots of their conversation. That's all on La Madrina's video, and they're going to actually release it, like their own video coming out pretty soon, so I'll go ahead and leave a link in the description. So some of my friends did some scouting around on the internet, and we actually found out that ArtieKnightYT has his own Wikitubia page, which was pretty interesting. And we found out that he was involved with a lot of drama in the past. Yeah, that's right. I had no idea. We didn't know until we looked it up, and this is pretty new to me, and I thought I'd make note of this. I'll go ahead and screenshot the page or do something or whatever helps. This whole thing could have been way worse if I didn't have such a tight-knit friend group. I'm just glad that people like La Madrina have my back when somebody tries to attack me like that. So I just want to apologize to any of you watching that was wondering what was going on with ArtieKnightYT. Once again, I don't want to bring any drama to this channel. I'm just uploading this to protect myself and others on YouTube, just in case Artie tries something. Now, this has been my side of the story, but, Anyways, thanks for watching. I'll have more fun videos up for you to enjoy in the future. Stay awesome, and have a great day.